Hey guys, I haven't filmed in such a long time that my camera had like layers of dust on it. Okay, so I thought the easiest way to kind of get back into the swing of things is to do a good old-fashioned get ready with me. So I'm just going to be doing my makeup for the morning and we're going to chat a little bit about what's been going on and just some like random things aside from the makeup. So the last makeup video that I posted, like actual content and not my live stream, has been like 3 weeks ago or something, and the reason I went a little bit radio silent in the meantime is, well, several things came together eventually, but initially it was mostly the fact that I'm back at work, like I'm back at the office, back at the lab, I started experiment, and it's again a change in pace and a change in my routine. I don't know how you have been experiencing it. Have any of you been like working from home and now you're kind of getting back into the office? I'm very curious what your experience has been, but my experience has been that even though at this point both routines feel very familiar, and I know what to do when I'm like at one place or the other, I find this like change of routine again to be very like tiring. It's just yet again something I have to get used to. It took me a really long time to get used to working from home and like the whole routine of just having to find a way to be productive at home. And now that I found that routine and I was like kind of used to my days, you know, at home, I had like time slots for working, I knew approximately when I would have lunch. Yeah, taking breaks was a little bit like less efficient, let's say. When I'm in the office, like actually at work, I think I would take breaks on a more regular basis. The only break I took, and it was a fairly short one, was always the one with lunch. So, you know, I had my routine going and I had kind of gotten used to it, and now I'm back in the lab because I decided that it's enough, and we have like slowly been like opening up and more people are allowed now at the lab, so I figured it's, you know, good to start it up already, get used to it slowly, especially during the summer months when everything is a bit more quiet, and then hopefully by the fall I can be in the full swing of things, provided we don't get locked up again, of course. Like I said, it's just very energy consuming, and I find that I'm quite tired having to make that switch again, which also means that I have to once again allocate different time slots for filming. If you remember when the pandemic started, I was also not uploading much, and that was once again, well, it was largely due to the fact that Nicola was at home and it was just really impossible to find time to work, film videos and take care of him. But then he went back to daycare and I feel like I figured out a routine and I had more or less like an allocated time slot for filming if I felt like there was something to film. But now I have to like figure that out all over again, and most of the time for me that would be either in the morning before I go to work or on the weekends. So just quickly to tell you, today we're doing green look because I'm wearing a bunch of green. Yes, I'm super monochromatic like that, and I'm going to be using like a variety of different palettes. The first thing I'm actually going to dip into is my bronzer. This is the Makeup Geek bronzer in the shade Sunkissed because I want to use that as my transition, because the eyeshadow palettes that I've picked out don't really have a more neutral transition, and I'd like to start with that. Now, another reason that I sort of stopped filming is because I have been doing really boring makeup lately, honestly. I have not had any desire to wear super colorful looks, which is very unusual for me, especially in the summer. Normally the summer is the time that I really like to wear my super bright and colorful eyeshadows. This year that hasn't been the case though. This year I've been extremely boring. I've been gravitating a lot towards bronze, gold, orange tones, and I haven't had any desire to wear my super colorful eyeshadows. Well, I know what's going on with me. I'm just getting a little bit bored of the rainbow. That's something that I've been talking a lot about lately with Bia. We've been like chatting a lot about it, that we're both a little bit tired of the rainbow looks. Just yesterday we were bitching about our Instagram feeds because I don't know about you, but all the brands that I follow still repost the same tired rainbow cut creases. And at this point, honestly, I'm like super bored and super done with those. I don't know whether the rest of the world is, maybe they're not, but to me they are tired, they are super 2017, and I'm just done. I want to see something new, something different in my feed, and I've been thinking a lot about decluttering my Instagram feed, because I'm just, you know, I have to roll my eyes every time I see those super complicated graphic rainbow cut crease looks, because I think, great, that looks fantastic for Instagram, what the fuck am I supposed to do with it? Because I am a regular makeup consumer, you know, I wear my makeup out and about. I'm not about to waste 3 hours of my life to do graphic rainbow cut creases and go out with those. That's just never going to happen. Anyway, the next palette I'm going to go into is the Just My Luck palette from Colourpop, where I want to take one of those mid-tone greens a little bit through my crease, because the next eyeshadow palette I want to go into only has like a really dark green. So I think I'm going to take this shade and put that through my crease very lightly. So like I said, I've been wearing super boring looks, and I don't know whether you have any interest in those. A lot of creators sort of corner themselves and like put themselves in this little box, and they're really scared to get out of it, because they think they're going to lose their subscribers if they do. If there's something I don't really worry about too much, it's that, because I don't have like a crap ton of subscribers. I don't care about the amount of subscribers that I have. So for me, if someone feels like my content is no longer interesting to them, I'm okay with it, as long as I'm happy with my content and I'm motivated to create it. I've already gone through a major transformation several times. I pretty much went from like one end of the spectrum to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know because you're new to my channel, when I started creating content on YouTube in 2014, I was basically an indie makeup user, and indie wasn't cool back then. It wasn't the thing that it is now. And indie meant a completely different thing also. Indie makeup back then was mostly like handcrafted loose pigments, and the community was very tight but extremely small. And I never really found my place in that particular YouTube niche, because I'm not sure that that niche ever actually existed. There were a couple of people that created similar content to me, but most of them actually stopped creating content after a while. And I was one of the few that was still making that kind of content, and I felt like there was also not that much demand for it. And honestly, my preferences changed a lot. Over the years, I noticed that makeup, like mainstream makeup brands, started making incredible pressed eyeshadows. And if you look at my channel now, it has gone a complete 180. I went from very affordable loose indie eyeshadows to the extreme luxury of Pat McGrath palettes. Anyway, the next palette we're going to go into is the Smoke Sessions palette. And I'm going to lightly start applying this shade here, the super dark green, into my outer corner. But like I said, for me, that those transitions have always happened quite naturally. I've never really like given much thought to, oh, if I make that switch, maybe people will stop watching me. The only thing that I've been concerned about lately is that people might be getting a little bored of me always talking about Pat McGrath eyeshadows on my channel. I think if you take a look at the last year of content that I have like uploaded, it's probably 75% centered around Pat McGrath eyeshadows. And I don't really know how you guys feel about it. Does it really... I think I've asked you before and I haven't gotten the impression that you guys mind. But the matter of fact is that also in my day-to-day life, I'm just using my Pat McGrath eyeshadows almost exclusively. For the past 2 months, I think I've mostly just been dipping into her palettes and then occasionally into something else, because I'm someone who does makeup not for YouTube. I don't do my makeup to demonstrate it here and then wipe it off and go out. I do my makeup and then I go out with it, and I need to enjoy the makeup that I'm wearing. And honestly, I just get happy looking at myself in the mirror when I'm wearing Pat McGrath eyeshadows. That's just the way it is, you guys. I've definitely been thinking about doing more videos like, I don't know, something like Shop My Stash. I really struggle with the idea of Shop My Stash because it sounds like something really cool and something really appealing to me, but at the same time I'm afraid I won't be able to keep up with it because I like to vary things very often. I like to pull different palettes, I like to pull out a different blush, different highlighter, different bronzer. Almost every day I switch it up a lot, and I just don't know if Shop My Stash is something that I could really keep up with. But, you know, I might as well give it a chance for like a month or something. And I always really enjoy the process of when people post their Shop My Stash videos and they like have their little drawers and they're picking the makeup that they're going to use, and I always find that such a zen and a relaxing experience to just watch them pick out the makeup they're going to use, put it in a little basket, and then give us their thoughts in the end of the month. So I think I might give that a try. Okay, this is looking okay, so now I'm going to take my Fairy Pixie Epoxy, apply that all over my lid, and then we're going to apply one of the gorgeous shimmers in the Smoke Sessions palette. I'm just applying a layer of that right here onto my mobile lid, not taking that too far into the crease so that I can still blend up there. And the shade that I want to apply all over my lid is this one here, which is called Mean Green. And I think I'm just going to use my fingers for that. My trusty fingers. It's a really beautiful shade, and I actually don't wear it very often because I tend to pull out the Smoke Sessions palette when I want to do olive green looks or something with that beautiful gold. But not so much for like the more cooler toned greens. I don't really know why. For my inner corners, I'm going to take this shade over here, which is beautiful, but it has the same flaw as all the metallic shades in the Millennial Pinks palette. It's super flaky and it tends to look sometimes really strange, but I think it works as an inner corner highlight. Definitely on my priority list to film is the makeup lookbook tag, which Melissa Gold created. Melissa is one of my dearest friends here on YouTube, a lovely lady that I really admire. She always has the best ideas when it comes to videos, and I thought the makeup lookbook tag was such a great video idea. I want to do it, but it takes a little bit of time because I have to really collect all the different looks. However, I think it's going to be a really cool video because it's going to be such a testament to how my makeup style has changed over the years. It has really changed dramatically. Now, before I move on to my lower lash line, I want to apply a little bit of sparklies on my lid. So I'm going to take the Moondas palette from Urban Decay, and I'm going to take this beautiful shade over here, the shade Light Ear. And I'm again going to use my fingers. I'm going to try to use this just over top of Mean Green, but if it doesn't work like that, I might actually have to spritz it a little bit with Fix Plus. But I don't want it to be super opaque, I just want a little bit of those sparklies. So I'm just going to press that like this on my lid. Oh, I think that works just fine. Pretty. So, the question now is, what kind of videos would you guys like me to do? I definitely want to do a video ranking all of my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, because I have really been enjoying watching those from other creators. And at this point, now that I have them all, I think I'm in a good position to rank them. But also ranking my Pat McGrath eyeshadows is like picking my favorite child. It's really difficult. So I went ahead and finished my eyes off camera. Like I said, I didn't do anything more complicated than what I told you I was going to do. I applied my foundation. So now I'm going to powder and continue chatting with you. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately, especially the last week, is how lucky I have been with making friendships on YouTube. This was all prompted by a video that Paulina posted last week about feeling excluded from the beauty community. I'm sure that a lot of you know who Paulina is and her channel. I'm going to link it down below. She's quite lovely. I used to follow her channel quite sporadically before, but recently her content has really been speaking to me and I've been watching her quite consistently. And she mentioned something about, you know, having had this friend group and feeling excluded from it because it was a bit cliquey, a bit like high school, someone in the group didn't like her, stuff like that. I don't want to go into details because the tea is not important. The message was more like the thing that set me on a train of thought was, wow, I've been really lucky with the friendships that I've made. Just FYI, I'm going to take my Fenty cream bronzer in the shade Honey Glaze. I've really been loving this cream bronzer. I felt extremely lucky to have made friendships with people, not just, you know, my fellow YouTube creators, but also people in my comment section, like people who just follow my channel for several years. And I've never had any weird experiences. I've never had someone that I considered to be a friend do something strange or, you know, hurt my feelings or whatever. I've always felt like the people that I have made really like connection and friendships with are people that I would be friends in real life with, like for sure. And I've been thinking, like, what is the reason that I've been so lucky? Have I been really lucky, or were there other factors in play? And I think that partially one of the things is because I'm so small, because my content is all over the place, people don't really come here for like very specific like makeup content, because they never really know what they're going to get. And also probably because partially of my personality. So it's probably a combination of the two that attracts people, and I think I attract like a certain type of audience. I think I attract people who have like more mature way of thinking, who are not about the bullshit, who don't necessarily need me to spew reviews every week, who just want, you know, genuine makeup lovers content. Because you guys, I am mostly a makeup consumer of both the product as well as YouTube, and I genuinely just love it. I'm always like very struck when I hear from YouTubers that they only wear makeup for their videos. I'm like, but why? It's so much fun to do makeup. And I think this genuine like love for makeup is what you know, has helped me to make friendships with people. Anyway, just a little side note, speaking of friendships that I have made through YouTube, one of you lovely people, one of my subscribers, Emily H, was very kind to send me these samples of the Glossier cloud paints. Glossier, oh, wow, I've never had to say this out loud. It's one of those brands that we don't really have access to here in the Netherlands, and she knew that I wanted to try the formula, so she had made an order and they had sent her these samples that she wasn't going to use, and she immediately put them in an envelope and sent them my way, which was the sweetest thing ever. Thank you so much, Emily. And we discovered that apparently there is some sort of like a magical postal service existing between the UK and the Netherlands, because these were here within 1.5 days. What the fuck? Anyway, I don't think any of these are really my colors. One looks like a really deep like reddish brown, and one is more of like a pink color. I think I'm going to go for this one because pink wouldn't really suit this look, I think. So I'm going to go with this one, but I just really want to try the formula of these cloud paints, and I'm secretly hoping not to like it, because then I don't have to go through the trouble of harassing Emily to get me a full size of one of these. Anyway, let's see how this works though. Okay, I think I just have to like peel it off like this. Oh, this actually looks like a beautiful color. Okay, I am going to just take a little bit like this on my finger, apply it on the back of my hand, and use my regular technique for applying cream blushes. I'm just going to use like a little stippling brush like this and just work that onto my cheeks. This color actually reminds me a lot of a color that I have from Nude Sticks. This color I think actually works really well for me. It doesn't apply super dark, and you can definitely like sheer it out. Wow, that's pretty. I think these are definitely meant to be like a one-use type of thing, so I'm going to just over blush today because I don't want to waste any of the product. I'm going to just swirl a tiny bit here. For my highlighter, I'm going to take my ABH Glow Kit, and I'm going to take a little bit of this shade, the shade Butterscotch, and this one, which is the shade Taffy, and just highlight my cheekbones with those. The ABH formula is very, very intense, but it still remains one of my absolute favorites. There's something about the formula that I really enjoy. I almost look like I have a sunburn on my nose, and I don't hate it. Last but not least, for my lips, I'm going to take my Pat McGrath Flash 6 lip gloss. I've been loving wearing lip gloss this year. By the way, I'm going in with my MAC lip primer because lip glosses tend to bleed on me. So I like to put the primer as a bit of a barrier to prevent that from happening. And I'm also going to line my lips using just whatever lip liner pencil, just something that's kind of sort of similar. I don't know whether you can see, but I'm already down to here with this lip gloss. Like, before you know it, I'll be halfway. That's like unimaginable for me with lip products. I love this gloss so much. Alright, so this is the final look, and it is quite gorgeous, if I dare say so myself. It always, like, it never ceases to amaze me how, like, well green plays up with, like, my skin tone and the color of my eyes, with, like, everything. I just really love how I look in the color green. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this really rambly chatty get ready with me. I just wanted to, like, kind of get back in the swing, like, in front of the camera. If you don't speak to the camera for a while, it gets really awkward to do it again. So I was really like, just okay, let's just turn on the camera, talk for a little bit to get things started. I hope to have a bit more content for you in the coming weeks. If there's something in particular that you would like me to do, then please let me know. As usual, I will be more than happy to oblige, but I think right now I need to get my ass going because I'm really late for work. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. I know this turned out really long. Let's see each other again soon, and until then, have a great day. Bye!